back. Good morning, Mobility Simplified for Weightlifters. I am Dr. Corey Hoffner, Doctor of Physical Therapy, as well as Strength and Conditioning Coach. And we have an awesome topic again this week. We're going to talk about shoulder impingement and what I wish my doctor, or what they really never told me about shoulder impingement, right? We're going to talk about mainly three things that my doctor never told me about it. And that is, number one, exercises to do for it to help repair it and heal it in 4 weeks or less. Number two is sets and reps, otherwise known as volume overall. And number three is duration and frequency. So how long should I be doing these exercises and how often should I be doing these exercises? Those are kind of the big main key points of the topic tonight. And what I'm going to do with you first, I'm going to share my screen and show you an example of a strongman weightlifter's mobility program that we're doing with him with strength as well and stability work to kind of help him, where he was able to get pain-free in about 4 weeks alone. So again, I'm not saying go out and do this same exact program, because you have to get accurately assessed and know exactly what you need to do for you. But typically this is what I find works best for people. And if it doesn't work for you guys, then this is a good kind of sign that maybe you need to see the orthopedic shoulder physician, right? Or maybe you need to get imaging done, like an X-ray or an MRI if it's a little more serious. You have some clicking, popping, catching, or sharp shooting, or actually numbness and tingling, which are all red flags for seeing the doctor. Okay, so with that being said, let me share my screen. Also, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. We have New Year's coming up in a couple days now. Give me 1 sec here so I can just share. Hopefully the computer will kind of want to work with me here. Here we go. Perfect. All right, guys. So again, this is one of my kind of clients. His name is Dave. I'm sure he wouldn't mind if I'm sharing the information with you. We're not going to go in kind of every single exercise, but I'm going to show you kind of majority of them. Like I said, kind of why we're doing them, what we're targeting, sets and reps for the volume, and then duration and frequency. We'll show you his calendar as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with this. This is the summary of kind of what we're working on for him having shoulder impingement, right? A couple quick tests I'll kind of show you that you can do if you have shoulder impingement is, number one, you can do a Hawkins-Kennedy test, where you bring your arm out here, hold it up with your other hand so it's nice and kind of relaxed, and try and bring that wrist all the way down here as far as you can. If you have pinching or you have a lot of pain in the front of your shoulder, that's positive for shoulder impingement. If another test is if you bring your arm out here, imagine you have a can of soup and you try and empty that can of soup. And if you have that same type of pain there, that's again another positive test for shoulder impingement. Those two combined with external rotation weakness. So if you push against your hand, pushing outwards this way, and it's weak and you can push against it and you can't really hold it, then those all give you an 80 to 90% likelihood of having shoulder impingement. So there's some quick kind of diagnostic tests you can do if you don't want to see a physical therapist or you don't have the time or money to do so. Okay, so getting into this is month 1. He's in month 2 right now. I always work with people for 3 months because that's usually the sweet spot of kind of when they can stay pain-free permanently. Right, just 1 month isn't enough. Even though he lost his symptoms in 4 weeks, we want to make sure we can build up his strength and teach him what to do if it does come back, because sometimes that is the case. So we're working on thoracic spine extension, rotation, mobility. So mid-back area, we're opening that up because it's really locked up and tight. And you'll see down here, I have him doing a thoracic posture stretch. Just 1 minute, one exercise. He's performing it twice a day. He does it in the morning 20 times. He does it at night 20 times. And I'll just share my screen and show you the simple video here, which links to my YouTube. This is such an easy exercise, but it's great to do, especially if you sit at a desk or you're on your phone, if you're driving a lot. It just reverses that kind of kyphotic forward shoulder posture. So all you're doing is chin tucking, bringing the elbows apart, and sticking your chest up as you exhale, right? Sitting on the end of a chair. You can do this anywhere. You can do it in the car. I've done that at red lights before. People judge you, who cares? But this is just a great one to kind of open up that mid-back area and then also kind of strengthen the area as well. So you're actually stretching your chest here and your anterior deltoids, where you're working your neck muscles in the front, and you're also working your mid-back muscles as you do that. So that's the first thing I have him doing, and I have him doing it frequently, right? Again, he's doing it every time. He's doing it every day for about 20 times in the morning, 20 times at night. This is going to take probably a minute over the course of his day. It's really not a lot of effort, doesn't require a lot of time, so it should be really easy, simple to do. That's a starting point for you guys. The next thing we're working on is shoulder joint mobility, which you'll see down here, and then pec, lat, and anterior delt lengthening. And that just means stretching, right? So we're trying to open up his pecs because they're really tight, his anterior delts on the front of his shoulder, as well as his lats, right underneath his armpits, like this area. All those three are very, very tight, and his lats were locking up a lot when we started, and that kind of went away over the course of 3 to 4 weeks. And then the last thing here Don't worry about this at the bottom, because we're working on middle trap, lower trap, and serratus anterior stability and strength. And that's just to kind of build up his, proprioception, his stability, just get him nice and strong, and actually kind of work into those new ranges of motion, which he's been working on achieving. Okay, so let's jump into the program here. We're going to get into the actual exercises, which was number 1 on our list of what the doctor never told you. All right, don't worry about the instructions there. It just kind of goes through tempo. So I'm not gonna click through all these. I'll click through a couple of the most important ones, because we'd be here for a couple hours if I went through all of them in detail. If you wanted me to go through them in detail, comment down below, and we can definitely set up a call, or I can kind of explain a little bit more to you if you're interested. But look here, kind of the main thing, these are all the sets and reps he's doing. Again, this program doesn't take long, guys. It's 18 minutes. This is all you have to do. It's really, really simple once you get it down and once you get comfortable doing it the first time. Like, he's doing this usually 3 to 4 times a week, not every day, right? And he's doing his workouts still. So I still let my clients work out, do what they want to do, because that's what they enjoy and it keeps them happy. And they're more likely to become pain-free if they are happy. They're just doing this type of work before or after their workouts when they can squeeze it in. Okay, so again, we're hitting the thoracic spine on the head first, because it's the number 1 limited kind of thing that we're dealing with. It's number 1 on our primary functional limitation list. So we want to do a kneeling bench thoracic extension mobilization. So this is my friend Dr. Caleb. He's kind of showing the exercise here. I really like this video. I actually do this exercise a couple times myself a day, and this is a great one because it actually kind of opens up your thoracic spine, but at the same time, it's going to actually stretch your lats. Okay. You're taking an 11 grip on that bar, you're sinking your butt back onto your heels, and then you're driving your kind of wrists towards your shoulders. So you're actually really lengthening your lats here as you stretch your mid-back. So watch that mid-back, it stretches, and then the lats also are being stretched here to here. It's okay to let your back curve a little bit like that and let it arch. Okay, so it's a simple one. You're doing dynamic stretch. You're doing about 20 reps, 1 set, holding for about 5 seconds per rep. So that's number 1, that targets that mid-back area for thoracic extension. The next one is sideline thoracic rotation. This one's very similar, but now we're working a rotational component of the thoracic spine. So he was really limited kind of turning to one side, mainly to that right side, because he had a lot of shoulder pain on his right side. So again, it's important to open up this area because it's the area between your shoulder blades. And if it's very stiff, it's going to lead to more pain and dysfunction here in the front. So this one's super simple. He doesn't have this in the video, but I strongly suggest you use a pillow under your head so you don't strain your neck. Because if you have a tight mid-back, you're going to get a lot of extraneous movement from your head. So this one, let me blow it up. So again, elbow flared, pelvis should not move here. It's locked in place. You're holding down that top knee, and you're just reaching your head and your arm across your body. So your eyes follow your elbow as you do this one. Show one more time. Right? Very simple. Your goal is to touch that shoulder to the ground and hold for 3 to 5 seconds. Right? Again, these are simple mobility exercises. Sometimes this is easy for people. This patient was specifically very, very tight. So this is why we started with this one. And same thing, right? 1 set, 20 reps, holding for 3 seconds instead of 5. Okay. So you guys are getting the idea. We're doing kind of mid-back mobility first, and then we're going to open up the lats and the pecs. Okay, so we're doing a banded lat stretch next and a pec stretch on the doorway. So I'll show you these two, then I'm going to show you one strengthening exercise. I'm not going to go through all of them. So this one, right, let me turn off the sound there. Banded lat stretch. So this is me doing it in my basement. You can tell there's a lot going on there. So we have the band attached. So if I was standing, it'd be kind of right at chin height. And we want to kind of take a nice supinated underhand grip so the palm's facing the ceiling. And you want a bench or a chair in front of you so you can hold on to something for support. And all you're doing on this one, guys, is very similar to the first one position. You're trying to sink your trunk down, and you're trying to kind of just let your arm kind of roll forward. So you're letting that shoulder blade roll forward, and you're actually stretching your lat here on that side. My head's relaxed, looking straight at the ground, and all I'm doing is I'm letting it stretch there temporarily, like 5 to 10 seconds. Very quick, dynamic stretch. You want to try your best to get that arm over the head. I can do a better job of doing that. Right, I'm sinking down lower and lower, and then I'm going to come up and then go right back into the stretch. So let that shoulder roll forward and let that trunk collapse down. And you're going to do it on both sides, super important. All right, so that is that one. That is just 5 reps holding for 10 seconds, palm to the ceiling, super, super important. And I always put these little kind of cues in there because people forget these small things, so they don't watch the video enough. So next one, we open up the pecs. So the pecs are really tight. So we want to open up the pecs. We want to do a doorway pec stretch, 120 degrees, right? So 90 degrees is here where your elbows are in line with your shoulder. It's fine to do it there, but I find most people are tighter in the clavicular fibers of their pecs. So we'll go up a little bit higher to 120 degrees, which is about here. So on this one, right, we're not going to go through the full video, it just shows you compensations. I'll show you this part. Your arms are in the doorway, really simple. Don't use a handicap doorway. If it's too wide, it's going to be too hard and it's going to hurt your shoulders. You want something of a narrow doorway, or you can use the corner of a wall, put both arms in the corner. But for this one, you want to keep your shoulders pinned down, your head relaxed. You don't let it pop forward, right? And you should feel a stretch in your mid back. So you're stretching your thoracic spine, but you should feel a stretch in your anterior delts in the kind of front of your chest too. So it's just showing from a side view there where you should feel it. Right, so that's just a good kind of stretch where you're locking your abs down and not arching your lower back too, which is super important. He's showing you the way to not do it here. See the X there? You don't want to arch your back. You don't want to pop your head forward. You know, that's how people mostly do it because they have tight chests. So you don't want to do that. So be careful with that one. You shouldn't be in pain when you do that one. If you are, you're doing it wrong. All right, good. So now we went through all mobility. So again, we worked on the thoracic spine for the first two. Open up the lats for the third exercise, open up the pecs for the fourth. Then we're ending with all strengthening exercises, right? We go into like a series of 3 strengthening exercises. So I'm going to show you the main one I think you'll get the most bang out of your kind of buck for. This is the Stanix serratus anterior wall slides with a pillowcase. This is really easy. Anyone can do it if you have a little bit of wall space. You do it at work, in your office if you want. You just got to bring a pillowcase in. So you're doing 2 sets of 10 to 15 reps, holding for 3 seconds. This is probably one of the best exercises you can do for shoulder impingement, just because it targets your external rotators on your outer shoulders. So your teres minor, your infraspinatus, but it also targets your serratus anterior, which helps stabilize your shoulder blade and helps it to kind of roll around your body and also forward. So let me play this. So this one, very technical. You got to push your head away first. So you're doing a chin tuck, and then you're pushing your trunk away second. So you should see like if you're wearing a shirt, you should see like ripples in your shirt kind of under the armpits here, and then kind of in that mid back area. If it's a big shirt, obviously you might not see it as much, but that's the goal of this one. And then what he's doing now, as he's kind of in this position, is with his hands, is he's keeping his elbows where they are, he's pulling his hands apart, kind of like a front squat or front rack position. So the whole time he's pushing himself into the wall, and then he's pulling his hands apart as he slides up a good 4 to 6 inches. And then he's going to hold it at the top for 3 seconds. So right about there, 1, 2, 3, and then he's coming back down. Boom. And then you relax, push away again, slide up, hold the wrists apart, head's relaxed. See the ripples in the shirt there. He's pushing away, getting that protraction. So he's thinking about letting his shoulder blades wrap around his body like wings. All right, so one of the best exercises you can do to target that serratus anterior muscle, which really helps stabilize your shoulder blade, and it's going to help shut down that pain from the front of your shoulder. And this rarely ever gets work, guys. You have to do isolated things like this. And this is not an easy exercise. It looks easy, it's super hard. And when you do it, it's really hard to do like a good 5 to 10 repetitions if you're doing it correctly. So if it's really easy, check your form, get assessed. You're probably doing it wrong. Okay. So that is pretty much everything. There is like a V wall slide with a lift off. There's a standing back on wall, which I've showed before. Actually, I think I showed that last week in a video. And then there's 2 kind of I should say like 2 kind of extraneous stretches too. He has trouble getting his hand behind his back too, to like kind of clean himself off when he's drying off with a towel, like put his belt on in the morning for work. So I gave him 2 stretches here, shoulder extension stretch, and then an internal rotation stretch. It's like a series of 7 exercises. These are just additional. We're not going to go through those, but usually I'll give these to people like the end of month 1 or the beginning of month 2. So, why did we go through this? Why am I showing you this? The reason why is because, if you want to get back to doing what you love in 4 weeks or less, this is exactly what you need to do. And the thing is, guys, if you go through this and you do it, in 1, you're in more pain, or 2, your pain didn't improve, then that's a good thing, right? Because at least you tried it and now you know that you need to see an orthopedic doctor and probably get an x-ray or an MRI because something more serious could be going on, okay? This doesn't always work, right? You could have a rotator cuff tear there. And, you don't know until you try these things and give it a go. You never want to jump into surgery either if you have a rotator cuff tear, because I've had people go through exercises like these and they've done just fine and they haven't had to have surgery. So it just depends. Like, physical therapy is never black and white, even though it looks that way and kind of gets marketed that way. So that's why I'm sharing this with you, and hopefully you found it super helpful. So like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give us a follow on Instagram at Dr. Choffner PTSC. Follow us on Facebook as well. You can follow me at Corey Hoffner. We post every day. We have videos coming out every Wednesday too, and live trainings and things like that. And actually, we're starting a new theme for January 2023, which I'm looking really forward to. We're going to do kind of joints month by month. So month 1, which will be January, we're going to focus on the ankle joint and Achilles tendonitis in specific. So you have an ankle injury or Achilles issue, please stay tuned. Look for the content on Facebook, look on Instagram, and then also check our YouTube out, because we're going to have 4 awesome videos coming out for the month of January. All right. Thank you guys so much. I'm so thankful to have you guys in this group, have over 1,000 group members, and to have helped over kind of 50 clients this past year, and to be launching a group program starting in January. Super excited and thankful to have you guys. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do any of this. And I'd still be kind of working in the clinic like a dog. So I'm super happy to be able to do this. And then just close on a gym space, actually, which I'll be moving into next week. So I'll be able to give you guys better content in a gym environment, just because I'll be starting to treat there in person through cash-based physical therapy. So thank you guys so much, and have a great new year. Take care.